Hey there, beautiful people, and welcome back to Hattie Empowers YouTube channel. So let's just get right into it. Me and my sister girl were talking, right? And we were having a conversation. And I was just like, wow. So this conversation is really interesting. And I want to talk about it to, my people. So what ended up happening is we were talking about couples and relationships and husbands and wives and when they get married and the breadwinner. And we were talking about how usually when men are the breadwinner and they're bringing in the money, that everything is all good, right? So men are able to invest, they're able to make the purchases, they're able to, do the savings, they're able to take care of all the household bills, and they feel pretty good about that. Right? They get the love and support from their wife. Their ego is, stroked. They feel really good. They feel really prideful about this. They are able to move and shake everything, right? They feel confident with their family members and their peers and outside people, knowing that they're taking care of their family, knowing that they are the man and they're doing, quote unquote, what a man is supposed to do. So we look at that on one end and then we see the wife's perspective on that. The wife is being extremely supportive. She is either working or not working, but taking care of the household, taking care of the children, making sure that dinner is done, providing whatever it is that the husband may need and making his job a little more smoother, right? So allowing him to be able to go about his day and do whatever it is that he has to do in order for him to work and, take care of the household. And everything is fine with that. And so the roles reverse and it changes. And the woman is now the breadwinner. And some scenarios we were looking at households where the woman is not supported. She is not held down. She doesn't feel confident. She more so feels guilty about being the breadwinner because the husband's ego is now bruised, no longer stroked, because she's doing the bills. She's making the purchases. She's doing the investments. And not only that, she's also holding down the household and the children as well. Now, these are just scenarios that we were thinking about because these are things that we actually witnessed with some of our other people and the people in our village, right? And it's just like, why is that though? Why is a woman made to feel guilty or moves can't be made because of what the husband is lacking? But when the husband has it, it's totally different. But yet the husband is still married to this woman who is holding down everything and taking care of all the bills, including him. And he's all right with that. But then when she wants to make further moves and steps to grow them and enhance them as a family, it's met with a lot of slack. It's met with a lot of resentment. It's met with a lot of verbal abuse because of the fact that it's not him doing it, but it's the wife. What are your thoughts about that? Have you experienced that? Are you someone who is in that current relationship right now? Have you seen that current relationship and that dynamic? And what are your thoughts on that? Because I find it pretty odd and pretty weird that a man would be okay with a woman paying bills for a rental but not purchasing a home because he cannot afford to purchase the home. I don't know how it's okay for a woman to make investments and for the husband in the household to reap off of it, but you don't support the investments that the wife is making because you're not making the investments with your own money. Or how a husband is not being supportive of a wife while she's working and actually helping with the children more because she's actually out there working and you have to be home with the kids. So why is there a double standard? So when a woman says that she wants to date a man, marry a man, and meet a man who makes a certain amount of money, do you not think that maybe this is the reason as to why? Because when she was with someone where she did make more money and she still loved this person and held them down and was extremely supportive, she was met with resentment. She was met with abuse. She was met with a loveless relationship, all because she was elevating and doing great. But when a man is elevating and doing great, we're expected as women and as wives to be super supportive, to bend over backwards, to cater to them, to stroke their ego, to make them feel good. But then what happens when a woman is doing that? So when we think about a woman who says that she'd rather just be single and be alone, this may be why. We have to look at the spaces and environment that we're creating in our households and looking at more so of what your partner is doing and what they're bringing and how can you contribute and how can you help. So if she is the breadwinner, what can you do more of to be supportive of her? Or what can you do more of to grow yourself and develop yourself in a way where you can be on her same level to make yourself feel good about it, especially if she's not making you feel less than. Because for the most part, these women are still allowing the men to be the head of the household. They're still being submissive to these men as well. But once again, if roles reversed, would a woman be met with that same type of energy? And most times they're not. That's what we also need to speak on. There are women right now who are the breadwinners, who's bringing in more income in the household, who's providing more in every way. And they are not met with the same gratitude, love, grace, kindness that a man would be. And that's just a fact. And they're made to feel guilty for that. Why? Folks need to hold themselves accountable for the things that they do not like about themselves and not put it on someone else. So if it's something that you're not happy with, what are the changes that you're making? How are you being intentional in making those changes? Because I'm sure your wife is not going to want to dumb herself down, demote herself, not be as motivated and as ambitious as she is to appease you and your ego. Especially if you already knew that you a go-getter. Why make her feel guilty about that? What is it about you that is making her feel guilty about that? What is it about you that you're not meeting her where she's at? Or if you can't right now, being supportive of where she is at. So men, I ask you, do you agree? Have you been in a relationship where you found it to be a challenge because your wife or your partner might have made more than you and you didn't feel like you wanted to make steps towards growth and building because you were not a part of that financially, because she was holding everything down? Do you find that you were or weren't really supportive of her and poured into her and held her down in the household and built confidence in her and showed appreciation and grace to her? I want your honest opinion, because when I think of some of these scenarios, I don't see the husband being as supportive as the wife is to the husband in those particular situations. And I see her being made to feel guilty and bad and as if she's trying to control things and as if she's the man of the house because she is the one who's providing. So the way she could be humble with supporting a husband can't humble himself and be supportive to his wife in that particular situation. So I would love you if you would join me in this conversation, right in the comments. Once again, you do not have to agree with me. You can have a different stance on it. You can have a different perspective because you've seen this done before and have a different outlook. I just want your opinion because it was an interesting conversation. And I just think about many women who are having challenges in their marriage because they may be the breadwinner. And it's not that they initially wanted to be the breadwinner and not that they not want to be taken care of. However, their goals and their aspirations led them to be financially stable and have a healthy financial life because that's the way they set it up to be, because that is what they wanted for themselves and for their family. And they shouldn't feel guilty for that. They wanted to reach the top tier of that salary income and beyond. Their desire was not to necessarily be taken care of, but to also be a helpmate to their partner. And not even with being the breadwinner are they saying they don't want to still have that soft life. If they wanted to truly be independent, then they wouldn't have gotten married. However, sometimes a husband can make them feel as if that's what it is that they wanted. All because they were a go-getter and they had goals and they accomplished them. So like, subscribe, write in the comments, share, tag people in. You know, debate me if you choose to. It's not really a debatable type of situation. It's really pretty much just the conversation we were having and our thoughts about it. And I just want to hear yours. So y'all have a good kind of day and tag me in.